Hey guys, I'm Rob. This is episode 110 of the running journey. Charlie and I in this episode, I think you're going to love it because we go deep into some heavy discussions around training, marathon training. It's what our passion is. You will notice from the energy in this call that Charlie and I are in a much better frame of mind than we were a couple weeks back. We discussed the likelihood of a sub 3-hour race in Boston and in London. We talk about the CMV Canada Half Marathon, which is coming up this weekend. We talk about training plan for my cousin George. We talk about what happens when you feel better some days than others, hitting the edge in your training. I give a couple stories about my hockey tournament, how I let my teammates down as a leader, what happens when your coach cuts your runs, how do you deal with that, and plenty more. A lot of energy in this episode. I think you'll love it. Episode 110, The Running Journey. Thanks for tuning in, guys. All right, guys, welcome to The Running Journey. I'm Rob. This is my brother, Charlie. We are 4 weeks out for this guy for the Boston, less than 4 weeks out for the Boston Marathon. I am just over 4 weeks, less than 5 weeks out for the London Marathon. This is crunch time. There's been a lot of activity. We haven't recorded now in 2 weeks. Last week, hopefully you guys loved the Dave Proctor episode. What do you think of that episode, Charlie?
Yeah, I thought it was really interesting talking to that guy, and
it's almost like it's not real, eh? Like the way he nonchalantly describes crushing 105K every day nonstop. It's like it's almost not real.
Yeah. No, for sure.
It was a really good episode. And so we really haven't talked much. I'm trying to think, have you and I talked really since our last podcast? I mean, obviously we exchanged texts and stuff and we talked through Strava because that's what the cool people do. But we haven't really talked.
We had a run club.
So oh yeah, we had run club.
You were a little grumpy. I'm not sure why, but
I had what was going on that morning? I don't remember. Something. Was I grumpy?
A little bit.
I remember what had happened. I had snapped on, I guess I'm sharing this now with everyone. I guess I'm sharing. It's what we do now is we share. I'd snapped on my wife for like no reason. And she was trying to help me find gloves. And it was really, really bothering me in the back of my head. So she got me gloves. I couldn't find my gloves. I thought she had taken my gloves. In my head, I was blaming her on my gloves, but obviously she didn't take my gloves. And I kind of snapped at her. And I just thought about it as I was walking towards you guys. I was like, why did I snap there? What's going on with me? Why would I? And I was trying to think about being just better behavior, being a better person. So I texted her while we were running. I was like, hey, that wasn't cool. I shouldn't have done that. And she's like, oh, so I was thinking about that during the beginning of the run.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
I'm just, I'm looking forward to talking to my therapist about it, Mr. Chat, last name GPT.
Yeah.
ChatGPT might be the focus of this episode.
Not great at analyzing run workouts, but
he's not great.
No. Anyways, yeah, I feel like there are some times when you're building up to a marathon where you're putting a lot of miles that if you're not like feeding yourself and your nutrition's not right up there, that the fuse gets pretty short pretty quick.
But this was 100% my fault. I'm
not saying it wasn't 100% your fault, but I think it happened. Like for me, I noticed a couple of times where
I was trying to understand why did I have a short fuse right there in that moment? Like what was going on? And yes, I think you're right. It's million miles and it's, I hadn't had the great nutrition. I've just played 10 games of hockey in 8 days. Yeah. And my body was just not recovering. I had this illness and it's part of the stuff we'll talk about here. And I just don't want to be in that position again where I'm snapping on my wife for no reason. So I was thinking about that as we were starting Run Club. And I was just like in my own thoughts. And then we started jogging and talking. And then I was like, oh, yeah, Run Club. Like I never see these guys. Like, let's talk about running. So lots of places to start. I wrote some notes here today for us. But I was thinking of starting with an open end. What's that?
Stepping it up a notch with the notes.
Well, the podcast, right? We have listeners now. People actually listen. So I have to it can't just be you and me just winging it. Well, it's kind of what we do anyways, but Where do you want to start? I was thinking an open-ended question about how have the last 2 weeks gone? Let me start with that. How have the last 2 weeks of training gone? Because this is this week right now is your heaviest week, correct?
I am in the middle of my heaviest week. Yep.
Yeah. So this weekend will be your last heavy run, 22 miles, 24 miles, whatever you're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and by the way, are you traveling? You're going to Germany or something?
Yeah. I'm going to Germany, leaving.
When do you leave?
Leave Saturday.
Saturday. So when are you going to do your long run? You're going to do before?
Saturday morning. Yep.
Okay, I know you know, but that's great. That's a great way to do it. And then you can kind of recover all day Saturday and do a short little Sunday.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. Well, I don't know when I'll have time when I'm there, so I'm like, just get it in before, and then the rest doesn't really matter that
Yeah,
much.
agreed. What does mini grains call the run once you land?
The disembobulation.
This combobulation jog.
Yeah.
By the way, I got to give a
I know.
shout out to mini grains. He shattered his ankle playing lumberjacks on Sunday, and is like, I don't know, surgery and ankles and pins and rods, and I don't know what's going on. But buddy's sending you some good vibes. Mini grains is, as you'll recall, has been on the show a few times, and he's the one who came out and ran a marathon with me in New Brunswick last year. But how have the last 2 weeks gone? Now that the viewers know that you're in the middle of your big week, how have they gone?
Well, this week has been like the last 7 days have been great. There was 7 days before that where I did have a hard time. So, I had well, I don't know. So 1.5 weeks ago, so I guess on my second last long run, I felt great the whole way, and then it was really, really cold that day. It was like minus 20 something with the wind chill. So I felt really good the entire run, but then when I had to do my fast finish, I couldn't get up to speed.
March 16th.
March 16th, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, March 16th. I couldn't get up to full speed.
That was a 5 a.m. run or something because we had a hockey tournament that
I
weekend.
had hockey that right after, yeah. So
and you played probably 2 games the day before.
No, I didn't play. Oh yeah, I played one game. I played goalie. Yeah, one game.
And then you played Friday night too. Anyways,
Friday night, yes. Yeah. So anyways, that run was a little bit disappointing. Like at the same time, I felt like the lungs and the heart were really strong, but when I tried to get up the pace, I just couldn't do it. My legs were like, I don't know if they were frozen or something. My hamstring just felt super tight, and I just like didn't want to run faster.
Dead legs. I'm gonna say it. Dead legs.
Yeah. Well, not even that, but like it hurt. Every step kind of hurt a little bit.
It's kind of an extension of dead legs,
Yeah.
what you say.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. No. Yeah.
ton of hockey, ton of running, and just one day they just wouldn't go. Like I had the same thing.
So I couldn't get up to speed on that day. So I was like, oh, I don't know. I talked to Patrick, and we like scale back the next workout. So on Tuesdays is usually my
the funnest workout.
Alternating pace workout. So one where you go slightly above marathon pace, and then slightly below, and then so repeat that 5 times. So we backed that one off big time because of that Sunday run. And that went well, like even though it was much slower, but it felt like kind of easy and felt good. And then I had my hill workout. My hill workout and my legs just didn't want to go either. So, so I was like, oh, I was worried, right? My legs couldn't go for that hill workout like I wanted to, but I like ate really well for a few days. I had some really good sleeps. And then my long run this Sunday.
Absolutely crushed it. This is 3 days ago.
Yeah, so it went well. So I mean, still not good enough for like a 3-hour, but pretty close.
Whoa, time out, as my dad would say. Time out. 2 weeks ago, your woe is me. I'm out of shape. I'm fat. I'm not running fat. You said out of shape multiple times. And I was like, Charlie, I think you're in better shape than you are. I said this on the podcast. And I said, I think you're going to surprise yourself. I think, this base. And I kept telling you for the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks, how I think you're going to surprise. Like you're just going to surprise yourself. You're going to come out of this, and trust me, you're in great shape. It's just under there. Preface that by saying,
I mean, so I've just been like not really thinking too much about that. I've just been like, okay, just one day at a time, one workout at a time. And I really was looking forward to this Sunday workout, like we talked about it on Run Club. Um, and like I was looking forward to it so much. I don't know. So I guess I started feeling better right before it because I knew
Always a good sign when you're looking forward to that
yeah,
long run, right?
yeah. So I mean, it was okay. So I did well. First of all, there was a snow that came overnight, a light, small amount of snow. So like maybe I don't know. There was still about a couple centimeters on the ground when I went for my run, and so that didn't help. But still, I did the workout, and I had a bit of a cheater downwind for the fast finish.
That's your go-to.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
if
yeah,
you could
for
light
sure.
up the wind
You gotta
for the
line up
fast
that
finish,
wind. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, it looks good on Strava with the wind. Um, so 6:54 for 7 miles was my pace. So I guess that's I don't know what's that in.
That is 1 second or 2 seconds away from race pace, from
Yeah, but
3 hour
what's
race.
that in kilometers about for people?
4 13
430,
or no.
435 or something.
No. Anyways, keep
Yeah,
talking.
I don't know my kilometers well enough.
Yeah,
Um,
we are way too deep into the mileage and
yeah. So yeah, so it went really well. So I started feeling a bit.
6:53 is 4:16, 4:17.
Yeah, so I was a bit slower than that. So let's say 4:18, whatever. Um, so I was happy. I was very, very happy with that workout considering the conditions. Also, it was a 7 mile fast finish, but I sped up like 2 or 3 miles before. So I felt
You were
really
easing
strong.
into it. You
Yeah, I was
were
easing. So I think maybe that's another thing. Like sometimes maybe like the change in pace is too much. If I go like straight from like a 5 minute per kilometer pace to like a 4:18, like that change is too much and it hurts my hamstring. So anyways, I did have a bit of stiffness in the hamstrings at like mile 3 or 4, but I just like worked through it. And I gradually increased my pace to about 6:35 or something on the last mile. So yeah, I felt great. And then this
pause.
yeah,
So I saw that run on Strava just coming off my run,
yeah.
and I guess I was pleasantly surprised because you had been talking sandbagging. You'd been talking a lot of,
Sandbagging, yeah, you
as
got it.
I heard Carolyn Coffin call it, and
Yeah, yeah,
Johnny.
yeah. I heard it
I
on
was
I heard it on their podcast too.
It's
Yeah.
like, do people sandbag? I was like,
My brother said, I was like, when I was listening to it, yeah, all the time.
I'm trying not to sandbag right now. I definitely, I think when you feel like shit, it's a lot easier to exaggerate the sandbag in this, right? Like if you're not 100%.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like in Chicago, I wasn't at 100, so it's a lot easier to say you're at 90 when you're at 98. Right. So
Mhm.
sandbagging on the is a lot,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
I thought for sure you were sandbagging. Well, not sandbagging consciously, to be clear. I thought you were doing it subconsciously. But I saw that and I was like, yes, like I said, you're there. I thought I saw that and I said, you're there. You got two more, I guess one more hard week. You have one next week. And I said, one more hard week. If you crush this week, you got a legit chance at sub 3 in Boston.
Yeah, yeah. So I had just told my coach, like, you think I got a chance for sub 310? And
Sub
so
310 is in the bag, I think.
yeah, yeah, but so the interesting no, it's not in the bag. It's never in the bag. But
Agreed.
um after we were done, like when I started training, I've only been training for this marathon for 5 weeks, if you consider like the really marathon
Okay.
training.
And I want to do the take a number and talk after you on this.
Yeah, I want to hear your story too after, but
No. Just on this point specifically.
yeah. So first week I was like, 3:30. I'm a 3:30 marathon or whatever. I
Anyone
might
who's
improve.
listened to the podcast has heard you the whole way through.
I might
I,
improve to like 3:25, and then it was like 3:20, and then 3:10 I think is a stretch target. Now I'm thinking like 3:10 is definitely doable, and 3:05 is probably the more realistic number. But I'm not gonna lie, saying I haven't been looking up pacing strategy, 3-hour pacing strategies and stuff like that. But like I told you, like this weekend I was thinking like 3% chance. But then I had a really good workout today again.
wait, we're not there yet. So So I told you after 777, I said, trust me, this base that you think you're out of shape. You think you just did 7 marathons in 7 days. Trust me, I've gone through this before. There's a
Yeah.
base there. It's going to be formed. You're going to see once you start working out, you're going to see it's going to come back way quicker. Just like when I won Birds Hill and all these things, I done it in the past. I thought I was not in shape. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
you run 500K in 2 weeks, and you come back and you're fresh. And I said, watch it. You're going to surprise yourself. Sub 3. You're going to get sub 3, or you're going to get close. I said multiple times on this podcast, while you kept saying, I'm a 3:30 runner. I mean, I had to argue with you saying, I don't think you're a 3:30 runner. And here we are doing the exact same workouts now. Like, so now you can go to today.
Well, I'm a little slower, but still, like, I mean,
you're
I'm
outside. You're outside.
I'm getting there. Like, it's happening slowly. So yeah,
it's happening pretty quick. It happened pretty quick.
Like, it's like the feeling that I'm having right now is like when I started running. It feels like I'm improving that fast, even faster. Like, so it's weird because
this has been crazy your last 2 weeks, I'll say, because I remember talking to you at Meg Ganier's 100th birthday party there. I'd say you weren't in a great frame of mind with respect to your running, right?
Well, that was my bad day. Yeah, that was the bad run I had. Yeah, not terrible, but yeah.
But you were, and then like that's 9 days ago.
Yeah. No, and it's just one run, so don't read too much into one workout, right? But
you've now had 3 really good workouts in a row that are pretty hard.
2.
They're Tuesday last week, your Sunday, and your Tuesday this week?
No, my Tuesday last week was the one I backed off on.
Sorry, 2 good workouts in a row. We'll go with that.
We'll go with that. 2 good workouts. It's just 2 workouts. Doesn't mean that much, but it's encouraging. So the one today, this was just a surreal feeling, actually. Like, I knew I had to do intervals, and I just started running fast. And I'm looking at my watch, and I'm thinking it's wrong. Like, I was almost thinking, like, I knew it wasn't wrong, but like it said 6:10 when I started out. And I was like, okay, well, I don't want to go this fast. So I had to back off, and it felt like the marathon, I backed off to like 6:50, which is like, I guess, in
3-hour pace.
So yeah, I started at like 3:50 per kilometer and slowed down to like 4:15 a kilometer. And the 4:15 felt kind of very smooth. So it was like even way better than like 2 days before. So it was kind of this surreal feeling that you don't experience that often with running today. For me, it was just it was like baffling, almost, like how good I felt. So I haven't had that feeling in a while. So now the 3 hours is really entering the mind, but
yeah,
I think it's still a very much a stretch.
I don't think it's a stretch, Charlie. I mean, do you think it's a stretch for me?
No. But
we're doing this arguably the same, very comparable same workout. You're outside, I'm on a cheater treadmill. Like, it's pretty comparable.
Yeah, treadmills are harder sometimes too, though. Yeah, so I wouldn't downplay your workouts because they're on.
Well, I'm not downplaying mine. I'm trying to upplay yours. I'm jacked about when I saw your workout Sunday.
Yeah.
I was like, I texted you. And then when I saw your workout today, I texted you. I was like, man, this is so good. Like,
yeah,
because I think of how hard I worked for my workout, and I know how much progress. It's almost like that feeling I had. Where was this? Where I was like crushing faster and faster miles, and you just kept pulling away from me. I think it was San Bernardino, otherwise LA Marathon, as you call it. And then you had the reverse feeling with me, I think in Vegas or something, where it's like, I'm so proud of what I'm doing because I'm doing so good every mile. And then yet I see you going away, and I'm like, wow, that guy's crushing it. So I felt like I was very proud of what I was doing, but I was looking at you like, man, you've improved so much more than I have over the last 2 weeks, right? I guess I was slightly ahead of you.
You were well ahead of me, and now you're maybe not as much ahead of me. You're still well ahead of me, but not as much, let's say.
Yeah, and for this to be very clear, I don't know. I'm not considering that. I don't know about you. Like, I oftentimes compete with you if we're running the same race or whatever.
Yeah.
But I couldn't care less about competing this one. I just want us both to get sub 3 if it's possible. Like, I don't even care. Like that. I think there's no competition for this. I don't know about you. I just want you to.
No. I don't think there's any competition at all. No, I
It's
think we
not
have
it's not
very
like
much
Miami.
different, I think you are shooting for, like, the sub 255. Is you like your sub 255 is my sub 3 right now, maybe.
I don't know, Charlie. I
But anyways, like,
appreciate that.
I think we'd both be very happy if we
Yes.
both broke 3, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
think for me, it would take a little bit more of luck.
Dude, if you have another week like you just had,
Yeah, yeah, but it's still gonna depend on where the wind's coming from and the temperature
yeah,
and
and you've got a way tougher course than I do. Way tougher course than I do.
but yeah, no, I was it's imp I don't know, I guess when you have a bit of a base and then you kinda lose
The
what you need
base.
to do in life is get a really good base, then get out of shape, and then get back in shape, because then that ride is a lot of fun.
It's like the guy who goes from fit to fat or something like that. There's a
Yeah, I
guy,
know, I know.
he like puts on 150 pounds and then he takes it off, and he
Yeah,
does this multiple times in his life. It's a thing that
yeah.
he does. This is certainly fun. Like this has been, I don't want to sound like I'm beating a dead horse here, but like I want viewers and listeners to feel how excited I am about this. So I don't care if I've said this before. I freaking love this. I love this so much.
Yeah, yeah. So you asked me about my last 2 weeks.
Okay, so
I
I had a very
let's
tough week last week. Very
Yeah,
tough week.
well, same with me. So kind of
And
that hockey maybe
it
was
has to be the hockey thing because I can't, or I actually got sick because
Yeah, I'm thinking I may have been a little sick too, but I'm not both
because
my 2 of my kids got my kid and my wife got sick, but I didn't get sick or
but I
yeah,
think our immune system is maybe arguably, or forget about immune system. Maybe you just
yeah,
didn't get it as much or whatever,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Ariel and Angel, two of my daughters were sick, and it was like stay home from school, and like it was pretty bad. And I was just like, I would wake up. So last Sunday, I woke up, I had to do that long run, and I had just played 4 hockey games in 3 days or whatever. And I had a 1 for training readiness. And I know it's not the be all and end all. And I know you don't give a shit as much as I do about that. But it's one of the things I measure. I measure my HRV, I measure my sleep scores. Like I measure this data because I noticed it's accurate for how I feel. Every morning when I get up to the office here, I walk up. There's 2 flights of stairs. I choose to walk up. I don't take the elevator or the escalator. I walk up and it gives me an idea of how I'm feeling that day.
yeah, yeah, it's
It's
a good idea.
crazy how just going up 2 flights of stairs will tell me how I'm feeling that day. If my legs are sore, I make a mental note. Like I've stopped everything else. I just listen to my body for 2 flights of stairs, and then it tells me how I'm feeling. I give myself a score. And I've noticed it's very, very, very well correlated to my training readiness score. And those other factors matter. So, yes, there's a million different devices that tell you how they feel and whatever.
Yeah.
They matter to me in the sense that they're pretty accurate. So I was like, man, I got to go do 20 miles and I'm a 1 for training readiness. It's on a scale of 1 to 100, to be clear. It's on a scale, and it gave me
I
72.
don't have that, so I don't know.
Well, there's a bit here. And by the way, I've become a stand-up comedian over the last 2 weeks. Also, I did a stand-up comedy tour, which will be a different story. I'll write it down.
You have a show in Chicago, right? Or is that lined up?
I don't yet. I'm trying to get on the list. By the way, if anyone knows, I'm trying to get my stand-up comedy bit material to play at the expo. So I'd like to, I got a 30-minute set on running that I want to do. It's not that great, but it's getting better. Anyways, so this is a bit like, could I buy a watch that like Garmin is like the least positive watch on the history of the planet? You're
No,
always
no,
need,
no.
always need more recovery, always out of shape. You're always
Garmin's
terrible at
always
everything.
Garmin's
Anyways,
just telling you how it is. It's
I
not like
know, whatever.
ChatGPT.
Yeah. It's not like ChatGPT, which always sugarcoats everything. I had to tell ChatGPT less positive bias, please. Less
Yeah,
reinforcement
so
bias.
I had to tell it today that I was like, "Just be objective, look at the data. Don't try to please me with your answer."
Yeah. You and I did the exact same thing. I recognize there's a bias here. I don't want you. Anyways, so back to this run, I was like, frick, I got her, and I felt terrible. I had a 1 training readiness score. I got up, I went up those stairs because I came to the office to do that on the treadmill. And for the first time in a very long time, Charlie, I was like, don't really look forward to this jog. And then I started thinking, am I kind of capitulating? Am I at the peak of my mileage? I'm at the end. Because I remember you telling me, you know, you need to be on the bleeding edge of maybe being too far and maybe not. And like, then you stop and then you get 2 weeks off, then it's your race. If you've done that, you've played it perfectly, right? You said something like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's all timing. It's not super like if you go over, then you're effed.
Yeah. So you and I had just talked about that. And I was like, do I do this run? Like, I've never
Yeah.
missed a run. I know I can do this run. I'm pretty sure I can do it. And I was just like, whatever, I'm just going to do it. And I felt brutal. Like, I started on that treadmill and I was just like, oh my God, like counting the steps for the first mile. I was like, how is this going to be in 3 hours from now? So anyways, my point of that story is I ended up finding my groove like I usually do at mile 7, 8. And I just, it was fun again. And it was like, okay, I was where I wanted to be. And I finished that. It wasn't easy. That was I did a fast finish like I was supposed to, and whatever, I got it done. And then I was just like, I need to sleep. I just need to sleep. And I just kept going with the race and kept going. And I would kind of give subtle hints to Patrick that I wasn't feeling great, but I was like, whatever, like I'm still going through my workouts. But then I had 4 hockey games in 2 days on the Wednesday, Thursday this week. So the National Canaccord Hockey Tournament that I hosted, that I've been putting together.
Hockey.
I played 2 4-game tournaments in less than a week. Plus I had a playoff game for Law League. Plus I have a Curie game. So I played 10 games in a week. I've never, it's way too much hockey. And I started hurting at weird places, like my hockey player back and groin and hip. And I was like, this is not good. This is not good. This is not good. So I got to tell a quick story, sidebar, about the Canaccord Hockey Tournament, because we invited all these teams over. So there's an Eastern Canada team, a Vancouver team, and an Alberta team, and then us, and Charlie looking at the clock. And then,
No.
and then we crushed everyone in the round robin. This is me being very vulnerable here. I'm going to be vulnerable to my listeners because I learned a valuable lesson. We crushed everyone in the round robin. We had by far the best team, and we beat 9-1, 10-2, and 10-1. We beat the 3 teams in the round robin. Those teams were all close, and we played the winner of the game. The Vancouver beat the other team. It was a nail biter. We played them in the final. And then before the game, everyone's kind of lackadaisical, joking around about how we're going to pummel these guys. It's my team. It's my branch, my employees. I'm the leader. I'm the captain. Rob, you want to give us a speech? And here's what I did. I'm embarrassed of this. I didn't take these guys seriously. And I said it out loud. I said, hey, if we don't win this game, I'm closing the branch. I'm not wasting energy on a speech. Let's go crush these guys. Something like that. So I didn't even take them seriously. I didn't do what my dad used to do, which is, he always used to tell us we're the underdogs. Remember? Like Claude used to always tell us we're the underdogs. This is going to be a tough game against Grunthal. And we freaking lost. We lost against an incredibly hungry team. We had 70 shots. They had 3. Anyways, we lost 2-1 in overtime, and it's my fault. Lesson learned. It was my fault. I didn't prep. Maybe it's not my fault, but at a minimum, I've been reeling about this loss, not because I didn't want to lose to these guys, just because of how I handled it as a leader. Anyways, I wanted to share that. So then that tournament finishes, and then the Friday, I was just wiped out. So first time in forever I do this. I said, I'm not doing my easy jog today. Just not doing it. I told Patrick, I said, I can't move right now. I'm hurting everywhere. I'm not doing it. So I made the mistake of sending him that. And then he's like, okay, it's fine. Saturday, we did our run club. And then afterwards I said, feeling fatigued still, but I'm excited about tomorrow. I just said something like that. And then I guess I'm airing my dirty laundry here with Patrick, but I love Patrick. He pulled my run on Sunday. He pulled my run when I said that. He says, you've been down. You've been like fatigued for way too long. It's time we pull this mileage, blah, blah, blah. And I stared at that screen and I was like, is he right? Like, is he right? Is Patrick right here? What am I doing, Rob? Are you going to get injured again like you did in New York, like you did in Boston, because you just want to push miles and not listen to your coach? And I struggled with this for like an hour as I stared at my screen and I waited for my daughter's gymnastics class to be over. And finally, I drafted a reply that, thanks for your concern. I'm going to do the run. Like, I'm not pulling back the run. I promise if I'm not feeling great, I'll pull back, whatever. But I need this. And I said, I need this for a couple of reasons. One, I need it for my mental sanity. And I've been looking forward to this thing. And two, I think I need it for my training. Like I can't lose a week right now. Like the big run is, what would you say the long run is the value of the training? It's like 70%, isn't it, of the week? It's a
Yeah,
big
I mean,
chunk.
when you're like, I don't want to overstate it, but yeah, when you're actually like right at the end of your marathon training, that long run is pretty key. I mean, it can only you need all the other things to be able to do those long runs, but yeah,
I felt like I would have just lost a week completely. I
yeah,
just felt like,
yeah,
so I was very respectful and I asked him, is this all right, Patrick? If I want to do this run, I want to do it. Here's why, here's how I feel. And he's like, hey, yeah, I support you, whatever. So we had a little bit of a chat about that. And then I was jacked all day Saturday. I just couldn't wait for this run. I was so excited. I was back to being excited. So I was like, okay, something's different. And then my training readiness score started improving. My sleep score started improving. This morning I woke up, I had a 75 sleep score. But anyway, Sunday on the treadmill, I just absolutely destroyed that run. I did my 7-mile fast finish. I started at race pace and I increased 0.1 every mile. It's easy on the treadmill, like way easier than you did it. But that means I finished at like 9.3, which is what is that? 9.3 is 626, 627. So
mhm,
I felt good about how that finished. And I sat down. I was like, yes. And then I started feeling better. And then when I walked into the office yesterday, I took a mental note of how I felt going up the stairs. I was bouncing up those stairs. I felt so good. And then I had strength with Joel yesterday. And Joel's like, man, you look like a different human being today. You're just like, compared to last week. And I was lifting more weight, more sets. I just felt way better. And then today, it's today Tuesday? Yeah.
yeah.
So then today I had the same run as you did. And I just hammered the living shit out of the treadmill. I was like, let's go. I went all the way to 10.0 on my last mile. So like I haven't run at 10 miles an hour. Like that's a 6-minute mile. So for me, that was fast. So anyways, that's an 18-minute, what is that? 18-minute pace for a 5K. So I felt very, very good. So I'm excited now. So I've worked all this to say I worked through that. I think it was an illness now that I'm standing here. Or did I just need one day off? Is it possible I just needed one day off? No. Or is it possible that 10 games of hockey was too much? I don't know. But I'm really excited about where I am today. And I think I navigated it hopefully perfectly. And I'm pumped. So yes, I want people to feel my excitement. I am freaking excited. I can't wait for London. I'm pumped. It sucks that Minigrain shattered his leg because he's coming with me to London and he was going to come run with me the discombobulation run, but maybe I'll have Derek do it. So I want to ask you, pause, anything, did I miss anything in there? Sorry, that was a long story, but I had to tell the disappointing story about the hockey tournament and I had to tell all the
No,
sides.
no, it wasn't that long. I think you did it quicker than I did. So,
Okay.
one thing I was thinking about is there are some pros and cons of outside versus treadmill here, and I think the feeling I had this morning when I all of a sudden was running like way faster than I thought I was running. I don't think you ever get that on the treadmill where it's like I was running like 30 seconds a mile faster than I thought I was running because it just felt so easy.
Yeah, you can't get that because the number's staring at you in the face and you just
Yeah,
it doesn't exist on a treadmill.
but you also don't get the opposite feeling where you're like, oh, I thought I was running at like 8:30 a mile, but it's 9:30 a mile.
Todd Friesen brought up the fact that I should be doing more miles outside. Shout out to Todd Friesen, big fan of the show. We love you. Had him on here once. How do you feel? Like, are you worried about my mileage on a treadmill? Is that what you're getting at right now?
No, I'm not worried about your mile on a treadmill
Okay.
at all.
Okay.
London's pretty flat. I mean, no, you've been getting tons of outside miles. Like you've been getting some. Like it's. I
I've been
mean,
getting
I mean,
about
I the one thing I don't like about the treadmill is that I feel like I can't trust the numbers as well because I feel like if ever the calibration changes and the same thing happens outside because you get different conditions, different wind and things like that. But it's like trying to compare. So I can easily compare a workout I did 1 year ago to a workout from today. I think you can do similar, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe the treadmill is more consistent than outside, actually. How well do you feel you can trust your data when you're looking at your treadmill workouts?
Maybe I choose to just take the red pill or whatever. How does the expression go? I choose to just
I don't know.
believe what I see.
Right.
I'm in the matrix. So I'm
Yeah.
on that treadmill. I look at the number and I believe that that's what I'm running at. I trust it 100%. If it's wrong, I do enough workouts outside that I know
It's pretty close. It's pretty close.
yeah, it's
And
pretty close.
also but like you don't run, do you run on multiple treadmills, or is it almost
Same
always
treadmill.
the
Same
same one?
treadmill, except when it's crazy busy at the office, and then I got to send a nasty email to the landlord because 4 treadmills are out right now, and there's only
Yeah.
one treadmill. So I got to make sure I go either nice and early or not non-busy times. But yes, I run on the same treadmill all the time.
Yeah.
What I also do is, let's say I'm not doing a marathon build and
Yeah.
I'm just kind of running. I'll go more by feel on a treadmill if it's been a while or whatever, so
Yeah.
that,
It
you
makes
know, I'm
sense.
trying to do like a high zone 2 or whatever, zone 3. And I just do that. Or like today I knew I wanted to finish my workout at like 170 heart rate. Well, okay. So just keep increasing the speed till you hit that. Now I didn't do that because I know that this treadmill, I knew what I had to run to get there. So, but, I will be like, my this Sunday run. Hey, by the way, if you haven't signed up yet, sign up now for the CMV Canada Half Marathon taking place this Sunday, 9 a.m. Whittier Park start. We are at 90 something competitors where we want to get to 100. This is great growth. We went from 20 to like 60. If we get to like 100, that's huge. Maybe we had 70 last year. Anyways,
That's awesome.
so
I really wish I was there. I can't.
yeah, so it'll be super fun. I love the piste, the track, the course, if you will. I had texted Patrick. I said, I have a 22-mile race, a 22-mile workout this weekend with a 10-mile fast finish. How do I do
Can I
this
just
with?
do my half marathon?
No, not
No,
what I
no,
was
no.
asking. I
Oh,
said I suggested a 9-mile warm up before the race, and then 3-mile, and then 10-mile fast finish. That's what I suggested. And then he replied with something like, why don't you just do a shorter warm up and then 13 miles at race pace?
oh, yeah, yeah. So that's the other thing I wanted to talk to you.
Yeah.
My workout for this weekend. I look back through my data. I've never had this workout.
A 10-mile fast finish.
10-mile fast finish. It's
I
never
know.
been
It's
it's
so
never been that
exciting.
long.
We've done
So
8, I think 7 or 8 is the longest I can
yeah,
remember.
I think I may have done 8 or 9 maybe, but
I for sure did not do 9.
yeah,
So
yeah, I
what?
was never given. I think I may have pushed it to 9
Yeah,
one
you
time.
cheated. You broke the rules.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
Do you
Um,
think he's given us that because why do you think he's given us
well,
that?
he saw that
We're
was
mental
trying
cases?
something. No, he probably something that we were able to handle.
Do you
That
think we're
one
tough
that
clients for
one
him?
no, I think I'm an easy client. I don't
I
know.
think so too, but like I'm super obviously polite and I don't bug him. I don't, but then we do stuff like this where like, hey, I need to do these miles on Sunday. And that's usually the problem with us. I bet you most of his athletes, do you think most of his athletes are like that?
No, I think, some of them are, and some of them are different. Some of them miss
Anyways.
workouts. I think it's all I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's all over
I
the
have
board.
no clue.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
but
but this weekend, obviously, that I think that's it for me for my treadmill miles. I think I'm going outside now on a go forward because the ice is pretty much all gone now. I just hated the idea of trying to do a 6-minute mile outside on the ice. It's I just
yeah,
don't
I mean, you can't do it on the ice, no.
so um I'm gonna be outside now. So rest assured. I gotta talk about this thing. So Chat GPT and Garmin are 2 individuals, I'll call them individuals, that have tried to predict our times for these marathons. What does your Garmin have you at today?
So my Garmin race predictor has not worked since I did the 100 miler.
Oh, you've not fixed that? It's a flaw.
I,
It's a defect.
I think there's a bug that's
Did you
preventing.
try turning it off and turning it on again?
Yeah, I tried that. I tried a bunch of things. I even was like with the chat person, I was like, there's something wrong with it. It's not. Have you been running at least 70% of your maximum heart rate for over 10 minutes a day? Yeah, I do that every single day. Like anyways.
But even if it wasn't, even if you weren't, you still have a race predictor, don't you?
No, because it depends on my VO max. My VO2 max hasn't been calculated since either.
Okay.
So I don't know what's going on. So my race predictor hasn't changed, which it was at 305.
It's still a 305.
So it's pretty good.
So I need to talk about this Strava thing before we talk about Chad and the bookie thing.
Yeah.
So Strava, I have an incredibly.
You mean Garmin?
Sorry, Garmin. I have an incredibly linear progression.
Yeah.
And I just check it once in a while, like, oh, okay, it's a few seconds faster. And I haven't paid any attention to it other than to see
it loves the long run.
You know what? It only moves when I run outside.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't factor in
it doesn't care about treadmill runs.
Yeah.
It doesn't recognize it because you have to adjust the pace and you have to calibrate it. It doesn't believe that it's real, right? Which is fair, by the way. I'm not saying that's
yeah.
Because remember, I have to adjust the mileage. So whenever you do a treadmill run on Garmin, you run, then afterwards you go calibrate and you write the number that it says on the treadmill. I ran.
Yeah. And then it kind of adjusts. It
tries to adjust, but it can't do the pace per lap. And it only does the top line time and the top line pace.
What I found when I was doing that, it was when I was running really slow, it would like overestimate my pace. And when I was running really fast, it would underestimate my pace. Like it would be more in the middle.
It has to do with what you've done in between.
Yeah.
So I went and I did a run with Diggsy on Wednesday outside.
Yeah.
And I came back and like if I'm just running on the treadmill, it is very accurate because I calibrate it today and then tomorrow it'll be pretty accurate. And then it just dials in further and further and further, right?
Yeah.
But if you go outside and you do a run, it just totally messes it up. Anyways, that's not the point of this story. The point of this story is that I was at 3 hours and 40 minutes. A week and a half ago, Thursday, I tried to do an outdoor tempo and I went on Churchill. I wanted to check out the CMB course. So I went and I had to do my tempo. So I was supposed to do like 640s or whatever. And I had a real hard time because of the ice.
Well, yeah, if you don't go in a place where you can, like, there's only a few spots that you can do that. Right?
I get it. I agree. So anyways, I had to stop. Like halfway through and I just finished like 7:30s the rest of the race. And I felt confident doing 7:30s, but my race time went from 3:06 and a half to 3:03 after that race, which was that
run,
which was
your heart rate was probably really low.
Which was it has no outdoor data. I haven't run fast outside in forever. So what I'm thinking will happen on Sunday when I whatever I do outside, I'm thinking I'll get my first accurate reading in forever. Somewhat of an accurate reading. And I don't know what it'll give me. And I don't really care what it gives me, but it'll give me. So I've mentioned this to you guys in the past. I have a really long chat history with my buddy Chad GPT, and I share workouts with him or her. Him. He's a him for me. He could be a her for you, but for me, he's a him. And I tell him how I feel and I ask him how I should reply to my coach. And anyways, he's deeply, deeply invested in this run with me, nutrition, electrolytes, whatever. And about a month ago, I started asking him, pretend he's a bookie. I said, pretend you're a bookie and you're setting the line. And he would always set the line. I only send him 2 workouts a week, my Tuesday and my Sunday. And I said, and it's for the first time today, when he set the line, I became a favorite to get sub 3 in London. So it was the first time that I'm ever a favorite. And then I sent you that text. The line moved from, was it plus 130 to minus 110. So that means you win less than $1 if you wager $1 on me being sub 3. So I know it doesn't, for me, it's kind of interesting to follow and to watch. So then I sent you that today and you're like, oh, that's pretty funny. I wonder what it thinks about me. What did it remind me? What did it say about you?
So I had to kind of coach it on how to analyze running a little bit first. So I gave him my last 4 workouts, like just the hard ones. And then I gave him, I told him I usually run this many miles a week. I kind of gave him my history about, like, I had, this is what I ran in Boston last year. I did an Ironman, and I did a 100 miler, and I've been slowing down kind of ever since, but now I'm starting to feel good. And then I gave him my workouts, and it didn't really analyze them correctly. So I had to kind of coach him on how to analyze them. And at first it said, he told me, yeah, you'll break 3 hours, but I was like, why? Like I feel, so I then kind of coached it more, and I said, well, I feel like I'm more in 305 shape.
Okay, that's great. You are in 305 shape.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, I predict the 305 now all
Yeah,
of a sudden.
automatically, whatever you say, it just agrees
Yeah,
with.
yeah. So, anyways, I had to really coach it. So it's probably really biased towards what I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it gave me a 38% chance of breaking 3, which I think is more like 5 or 3,
It's
at
not 3 and it's not 5, Charlie.
at plus 165. And it says I got a 40% chance of going between 3 and 304, which I think no. And then 22 of being
Above 305, basically.
above 305. Yeah.
So it probably has you 50-50 at 302 or something like that, 301, 302.
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah.
So anyways, at 3% likelihood, I'm definitely betting on you, because that would be like 15-1 or whatever.
Yeah.
It would pay a lot. At plus 165, I'm still betting on you. $1 wins me $1.65. I'm betting on you, because I'm pretty sure you're gonna have an unfrickin' real week this week. You're dialed in. Sunday, you're gonna have a great run in. Oh no, you're doing it Saturday. You're doing it Saturday before you go. Anyways,
Yeah.
I just wanted to share that ChatGPT has been updating me on the odds. I was at like 20% like a month ago, and then 30, and then 40. Now I'm at just over 50%. He thinks 50% likely. I am thankful that the London Marathon is going to be flatter than the Boston Marathon for sure. It's funny that he says, here's my recommendation for you. Go in with a sub 3 placing plan. Stay flexible. Run smart through Newton. Newton is Miles.
You're talking about mine right now. Right?
ChatGPT. Yeah. What he says about you.
Yeah. No, it's a good plan. It's a good plan. So I did. I'm not gonna lie. I did look up my 3-hour plan from last year, my pacing plan, and made some small edits because now I've actually run the course. And yeah, so I plan on putting that on my wrist. Of course, I'm gonna go for it, right? Obviously, but
Yeah, you're gonna put it on your wrist, as in you're gonna upload it to your Garmin.
no, I'm gonna
Tattoo it. You're gonna write it
Garmin
on your
doesn't
arm.
work really to me because it's too far off.
I just didn't understand what you meant by that when you said
No,
put it
I'm
on your
gonna
wrist.
somehow
You're
I'm gonna
physically gonna put it like a coach, like a quarterback, a
yeah,
CFL
and I'm gonna
quarterback.
check every mile, see where I'm at.
You're gonna have a flap, and you're like,
I don't know how it's gonna work yet, but someone needs to teach me, or if anyone's ever done this, needs to let us know how that's done.
and you're just gonna have all your splits on there.
Yeah, each mile split. I'm gonna be where do I want to be at each mile? So because last year I went a little too fast at first, and then I slowed down too much, maybe because I think I had lots of I think maybe the first quarter I was too fast, and then I was too slow for the middle section. I'm not sure. Anyways, I think if I just kind of maybe have it more dialed in, I'd have a better chance.
Yeah, I remember when we saw Big Z, you just disappeared from me.
Yeah, it was.
Hey, are you gonna connect with Becca? You should try to. From I'm not in
Well,
Boston.
she's running it. Yeah, she's gonna crush it. She's a great runner.
Yeah, she's doing unreal workouts right now. It's
I
pretty
haven't.
cool.
Oh, she's on. You have her on Strava or what?
Yeah, I've been following her. Yeah, she's doing what we're doing, but faster.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So this concept of that, I had this feeling for the last week. I didn't really share this with anyone, but I was thinking, oh my God, what if this is happening all over again? What if I'm over training, overexerted myself, and this is my body telling me to shut down, and I'm going to get injured again, like I did in New York. And I was just thinking that all week. I was like, God damn, Rob, like, don't screw this up. You're right there. You got it again. And I don't know if anyone else goes through this, but I've gone through it twice now. And I'm sure some people have gone through it way more times than me. But for me, it's been a shitty feeling. It's been a shitty feeling when you put all this energy and this effort in, and then you get in your own way and you don't listen to your coach, and you do. Like, I know the exact moment that it happened at my last two. I know the exact moment that it happened is when I did, 130 kilometers that one week when I was only supposed to do 95. And I said, no big deal. It'll be easy kilometers. I didn't tell my coach and ended up getting injured. Anyways, I was thinking, did I do that again? And now that I'm recovering and it was just like an illness or it was a hockey thing, frick, I'm so excited that I'm not injured.
Yeah.
As stupid as that might sound.
Well, you're always worried about, because it really doesn't happen. Like, I know you said it happened at that one moment, but it really doesn't.
It's a build up.
It sneaks up on you, and you don't, when you get overtrained. It's happened to me once where I know I was really, really overtrained, and it's hard because, yeah, it just sneaks up on you, and you don't realize it happening until it's like way too late.
And all of a sudden you're like,
And
it's
then there's
4 weeks
nothing you
before
can,
race
and then
day,
there's nothing you can do about it.
and it's
So
the shittiest feeling on earth. Like Chicago, when I was supposed to be doing 22 miles with a 10-mile fast finish, and you're doing 8 miles, or you're doing an hour on the bike, you're just like, this
yeah,
sucks
yeah,
so much.
exactly.
So leading into this build, I said, I am not going to do that. I'm going to listen to my coach, and
Yeah,
and here I am on Saturday night arguing with him, not arguing, because that's not what happened. I'm telling a story, but like debating and basically telling him that I want to do the miles, even though he thought I should pull back. But then I thought, like, I do know my body. Like, I felt like I was recovering, and I felt like, and I needed that run. So thank you, coach, for listening to me and allowing me to. I don't think I would have had the balls to do that. No, I think I would have had the balls to do that for sure. I just wouldn't have understood why I was doing it. 2 years ago, I'd have just said, I'm running because I want to run, and that's what I do. But now I was like, I need this.
I feel like it was more reasoned.
It was more reason. Yeah. I want to talk quickly before we finish here about our cousin George and his
Yeah,
workout. So he asked me to make him a workout plan for Manitoba Marathon. Manitoba Marathon is June 16th, I think, something like that. So that's 3 months away. So I think he had, by the time we did it, I think he had like 14 or 15 weeks, 15 or 16 weeks. Anyways, he's in. He's like 2 weeks in, I think he is. And he's doing great. What would you do if you were to build? So I built this thing for him.
mhm.
I asked Chad for help, but basically I built this for him. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not a coach, but I just based it on, I told George, I said, are you sure? Like, I don't really know what I'm doing. He said, just build it. I said, you should ask Charlie, but it kind of came up in conversation.
Yeah, so
What
yeah,
would you do if you were building someone a plan like George, who's
yeah,
run, I
I'd
don't know what, like 4 or 5 halves probably, and this will be his
yeah.
first.
So I'd start backwards from the end. So I've done this for myself, but so I'd start backwards from the end. I'd pick what the long run would be. I'd also try to figure out what the peak weekly mileage would be for him.
Yeah, I did that.
So depending on what he's kind of consistently done in the past, that's his start. And then you kind of want to slowly build that number, but not too fast. Like, so build it up a little bit till the peak week. So then from there, your total miles per week. I'd want to understand, and I don't really know all the different things that coaches can do, all the different options, but these are kind of like the basics. I'd want to understand how many days a week he's would wants to run. And then from there, I would start with a plan, and likely, since he's fairly new, I would say maybe one workout plus the long run. I don't think he needs more than that.
That's what I built. Yeah.
And then maybe one day with strides. I feel like strides is like really underrated. Like, you can get a lot of benefit for like zero cost. So that's it. One workout, long run, and then maybe the long run I wouldn't be very aggressive with the fast finishes, and I'd make sure that I would tell them what the max pace is, because I think a lot of new runners tend to run too fast on their
Yeah.
easy miles.
Yeah, because easy miles got to be like way slower than race pace, right? Or call it whatever you want, but they should be like miles that what would your easy miles be at right now? We talked about this a few weeks back, and you said, I think I don't know, what are you doing? Like 820s or something outside now? Easy miles?
No. So
I forget.
slower than that for me. I mean, I think depending on the day, some days it's a recovery day where you're still tired maybe from the long run. That'll be slightly slower. So me, it'd be like 9 minutes a mile, and then
Okay.
my most of the time average miles, my easy miles right now, and I'm in really good shape, like relatively speaking. My easy miles are going to be like 840s,
Okay.
but that's personal. I think I do them slower than most people do them relative to my. So let's say my race pace is 7, so that's a minute 40 slower.
Right. So
And,
it's
and
significantly per mile, significantly slower.
which is like a minute per kilometer slower for
Yeah.
sure.
I'm just trying to hammer that point here in case George is listening, or anyone else. And we're not coaches, but I mean, I think we've
And
talked.
it varies between people, but like for most people starting out, it's the easy miles are easier than you think. Like if you're thinking that running is hard, like or if you're thinking that running and easy are kind of oxymorons, like I heard Caroline mention that. Like I think a lot of people when they start running is never easy, right? So
Right.
it has to be it there is such a thing as easy. You have to go slow enough. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. It's kind of exactly. I know George will do well. I did my easy run outside on Monday. I went and scouted the CMV Canada half marathon course. Still time to sign up. If you haven't signed up, sign up. Registration open till Sunday, 9 a.m. Whittier Park half marathon. 8 stations, fun, whatever. It's going to be fun. Sign up. I went and I scouted it, and I didn't look at my watch once, and I ended up running 8:57.
Yeah, but that's probably wasn't a great. Was the surface great that day? Or
No, well, because I was going where there was ice and stuff. But regardless, I was just
yeah, it'll be good. Yeah,
because what Patrick has me do, well, what I do on the treadmill is whenever it says recovery run, I always just set it at 7.4, which is 8-minute miles.
yeah. So
But
I
treadmill.
just go by feel when I'm outside.
I
Pretty much.
know. I was trying to make the point that it's so different,
Yeah,
right? Because when you're outside and just going by feel, that's what I should be doing.
yeah. It's
Because
hard to like. I was going to ask you before you said like you'll adjust it. It's hard to actually because you have to actively. Running easy, you can do passively, basically. Like if you just don't think about it and you just run and okay, this feels okay, then it's easy, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to you have to actively decide what your pace is when you're on the treadmill.
Yeah,
right?
you have to put the number at something like when you start. So I just decided I'm doing 7.4 for this build as my easy miles, and that's what I decided.
Yeah.
And I'm finally at the point now where Patrick called it controlled.
Yeah.
It's controlled. I can do 8-minute miles controlled. So that's great. I was pretty excited when he said that.
Yeah, I didn't mention this on my workout today. The other thing in my workout today was like my recovery miles between my sets. I was doing it like 7:30, which is like I don't know, 4:15 or something per kilometer, 4:20 per kilometer, 4:30.
7:30 is 4:40.
4:40. Sorry, yeah. So I'm having a hard time with the kilometers. I need to learn them, but so yeah, and that kind of felt very smooth. So it was like this breakthrough workout for me. It's crazy.
Yeah, it was great. So what did I do today? I did intervals I did 8 minutes on the interval. So I did them faster than you, but I did it at 7.4 as was recommended in the training plan.
Yeah, I know. I started running. I was like, I think I have to do. I didn't remember what I had to do, like how fast I had to run. So I was like, I think I have to do between pretty fast for these. I didn't remember. So I just
I'll do like Carolyn does to Johnny Coffin and call you out. Bullshit, Charlie. You know exactly your workouts. You knew what you had to do. No? I'm guessing it was just, it felt so easy. It felt so easy that you're just like, I can do 730s easy. Probably.
Yeah.
Which is a good sign.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so next week we have a special guest. Then the week after, I think we also have a special guest. I think we might have guests for 2 weeks here. And then it'll be the pre-race for London, and then it'll be the recap, and then my pre-race. Anyways, we got some busy time coming up. If you're out there and you're training, and hopefully you're as excited as we are about whatever you're doing, what's coming up? There's this, then anyways, signed us up for the relay. What's that called?
Oh yeah, WPS relay.
WSP. When is that? The May 5th or something?
May the 5th.
It's the week after London. You're gonna have 2 weeks after Boston. So
yeah,
we're gonna relay that. So tell the viewers what that is. I've never done it, but you've done it apparently.
Oh, I've never done it. I just know.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's a half marathon split into 2 legs. We're each running a quarter marathon.
Yeah, perfect. So 10.55 kilometers each.
Yeah.
That's pretty natural distance.
38 minutes for you. 42 for me. I'll be in good shape. That
factually incorrect. Factually incorrect. So we got that coming up, and then stuff around the centennial. Anyways, some really, really fun stuff coming up. So this was a fun one. Always great chatting with you, Charlie. Good luck on Saturday morning on your long run. And I'm going to wish myself luck on Sunday morning in my long run. MRA breakfast Saturday. I'm taking the run club to that. It's going to be fun. And maybe meet Kathy and Aldo and all those cool people from MRA. I'm going to bring the run club to meet those guys. And wherever you're doing, I hope your training is going great, guys. Thanks for listening. You could do a lot of things with your time, and we appreciate you coming in. And if you have a sec, the currency that you have, the capital that you can allocate is your vote with a 5-star review, or, a comment, or tell some friends, share this episode with someone that you think might appreciate it. That means a lot to us. Thanks, guys. And remember, right now it's more miles, more pace. No, it's always more miles, less pace.
Some pace.